phones or feature phones that are very close to being smartphones. So that's a massive, massive market we're talking about globally. In terms of how we use the phones, I said personal, and one great example of that is the social aspect of it. 91% of people use their mobile phones for socializing on it, compared to just under 80% for their PCs. I think this is a very important slide, again, from Morgan Stanley about how mobile internet devices and mobile internet usage is very close to overtaking PCs. So by 2013, 2014, more people will be accessing the internet via mobile device than not on their PCs. And that's a very, very fundamental change. And that's basically, we need to rethink how we communicate and what we believe the internet to be, because this will change what the internet is. And this is another interesting slide about currently what people use their phones for. Games is a key winner. Weather, navigation, search, social networking, these are the top priorities, and I think it's actually quite reflected in the study that you have in your hands about the Romanian market. It's very, very similar. So you can, interestingly, again, phone calling as well there. And just a bit more about the social aspect and the importance of creating the right environment. Facebook has spent quite a lot of time and effort in making sure that its site is accessible via different mobile devices in a optimized way. Currently, out of 6,700,000 people who use Facebook, 30% of them actually access it via mobile devices, and those people who start accessing, say, Facebook via mobile device, they will be more likely to access it through their phones, through their iPads, than they are through a PC. Twitter is very similar. Twitter obviously has a significantly smaller user base, but 50% of those people who use Twitter use it on a mobile device. And again, just to reiterate, in YouTube we can see that 200 million views occur on mobile devices every single day. So that means people are turning to mobile devices, be it on a smaller screen, and they do consume a lot of video. So what this already implies is that people who use their mobile devices in many ways similar to what they do on their PCs. Online video is very important, and obviously mobile video is going to be extremely important in the future as well. I'm happy I bought this slide here because I sort of see that there's a bit of a debate going on about whether mobile usage and TV usage interacts or it doesn't interact. We compared desktop internet usage with mobile internet usage, and there are some key differences. Obviously, in the morning, there is this time frame where more people access the internet via their mobile devices than via a PC because they're going to work. And what can you do? You're stuck in traffic, you read the news, you check up on your friends on Facebook, you check your emails. Then you go to work and you're obviously going to use a bigger screen to access the internet. But come lunchtime, there's a huge spike in mobile internet usage because people leave their offices and they meet up with friends, they try to find places to eat out at or to search for things or go even shopping. Comes night, and the interesting thing is that's the peak. That's the prime time for mobile usage, exactly at the same time when people watch TV. So I don't have a slide here, but media mashing is something that's very important to take into account. How many people use the internet while watching TV? And the European average is somewhere between 30 to 40%. So people actually no longer look at TV. They sort of sit there, they hear something, they quickly check something on their phones. Because that's how you work now. So attention span is much shorter, but you do use different media sources. And obviously the peak is instead of sleeping, you go into your bed and just check the news one last time, check your emails one last time, and send that last Facebook update because your friends need to know you're about to go to sleep. And the similarity doesn't just last in a day, it's similar in the weekend. Weekend mobile internet usage is much higher than weekday. And in the campaigns that we've been running, we've actually seen much higher response rates come in the weekends than come during the week. week. So the response rates are highest in the evenings and at the weekend, because that's when people are on their phones all the time. I mentioned the global aspect of the internet, the mobile internet, and I believe that it's inherently very, very international. And I do not know how many media owners are sitting in this room, but in the mobile sphere, global competition will be a lot tougher than even on the internet. What we see, because of the use of applications and people downloading applications, and I may have to disagree with Nokia here slightly, it's not always just the local apps that work. There are lots and lots of global apps that are available, and people do download them. And we've asked around for some numbers relating to the Romanian marketplace, and our estimate that from these international mobile advertising networks, there are about 300 million ad impressions a month available for Romanian mobile internet users who are, and with that we can reach about 2.3, 2.5 million phones in the Romanian market. And smartphones, feature phones, dumb phones, it's a big mixture. There is only about 50% of these impressions are in smartphones, the rest is in feature phones. And I think supporting the study again that initiative has done, the number of application impressions are very small. So out of the 300 million, I would guess about 20 to 50 million are available within actual applications. But that is the aspect that will grow very, very significantly. As more people have mobile phones, download applications, we see that free rules. And free often means that there is a little banner ad in the actual application, and people do actually click on ads. And I think the biggest challenge for you or for media owners here, and the biggest opportunity for you as marketeers, is that these networks internationally provide you that specific and very exclusive reach that is within apps, and much of what's available in terms of targeting and reaching a niche audience is going to be available via these apps. If we step away a little bit from the marketing side of it and the advertising side of it and just look at how consumer behavior is changing, we saw that one of the biggest impact the internet had for how people shop was their ability to compare prices, find the best offers, and be educated by their peers of what works, what doesn't, tells you where you can and cannot buy this product for cheaper. So you need to understand that we're basically empowering the consumers even further, and this creates a very, very challenging environment, but also creates lots of opportunities. And those opportunities are knocking on our doors. Why? It's just to recap, because the world has changed again, keeps changing, and it's going to keep changing faster and faster. We need to be aware that our consumers are very actively communicating with each other, and these two things we need to take into consideration when we're talking about the marketing landscape that we're in. So what are these opportunities? One is obviously mobile. If you look at a medium, and I'm not going to dwell too much on this slide, because if you've been paying attention to what digital marketeers have been telling you about the internet, it's very, very similar. Probably the biggest difference compared to the internet is how personalized it is and how attached you are to the actual device that we're communicating to you with. It's much more so than, say, through a PC or a laptop that you have at home. And I think the other one is it's always on, it's always with you. But if we don't look at it just as a communication channel, and I think the important is we cannot look at it as a communication channel. You need to look at it as a full platform. I think the best example would be is that it's a Swiss Army knife. It can provide you solutions to anything that you want to do, if I want to be very bold. You need to make sure that you use it properly, because you can use to extend your broadcast campaign and basically drive engagement. It's not just exposure to a message, but you can ensure that people are actively part of your campaign. You can turn non-digital aspects into digital, such as a print campaign. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get the video working, but there was a campaign in Hungary not too long ago, which was for a mobile operator offering free navigation services for the iPhone, and they had a press ad. You put your iPhone above the press ad, and the video played that was connected to the press ad, making the actual press ad much more engaging than it could have been without the mobile aspect. But even if you don't go as far as that, you're using QR codes or just simple SMS codes, or just giving away digital coupons, these will turn a passive media into an engaging and active media. So if we look at what you need to focus on, if you're talking about mobile, and what are those 3 areas which are very important to consider when you're thinking about how to develop your mobile strategy and your mobile platforms, there are 3 things you need to focus on. Messages, the experiences that you create for your consumers, and the conversations that you engage with them. The way we look at mobile is that it basically allows you to build a bridge. And it's a bridge that connects one media to another. Just as I said, broadcast TV and radio goes from being analog and goes from being passive to go to digital and very interactive. And you can provide a much deeper and richer user experience by utilizing the mobile channel. First of all, I'll talk about messages a little bit. And messages in a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, were very one-dimensional. The internet came around and we said it was going to be two-directional. It's happening. Social media obviously is encouraging this conversation even further, but mobile is going to give you that last push that's going to make it even more engaging. And again, excuse me, these are some of the aspects while mobile messaging will benefit your communication. It's highly targeted, and highly targeted means that you obviously have registration data, you have the type of handset you're communicating, the operating system you're communicating, but more importantly, you know what media your consumers are consuming, location, you know where they are when you're trying to communicate to them, and this is something that for many years, internet said about it, and I can only speak from my Hungarian experience, but many of these targeting possibilities never came through in Hungary for internet. Maybe you're ahead of us in Romania in terms of how much people are being able to target it in internet, but mobile is probably going to give us that opportunity to do so. Location is huge. I think location is probably the biggest buzzword within mobile. It is finally the power to tell us where users have been taken away from the operators, who haven't really been very forthcoming in lots and lots of market in giving that information out. And it's in the hands of the actual handsets and the users. GPS-enabled devices broadcast their position. I'm saying that in a positive way. I know that in the news there's been a lot of discussion about whether Apple should or should not have that location information that they have collected, but if we consider that this will be handled in a correct manner, then phones will give you location data that you can use to basically give offers for people who are in the vicinity of the shop where you have your product being sold. And that's a huge positive and a huge plus, because this allows us to be sending the right message at the right time in an actual way, not just talking about it. Mobile also allows us to reach very niche audiences because of the targetability, but niche takes a new term here. Because we have so much data, we can reach masses of niche audiences, so the number of niche audiences we can reach is actually bigger. Creative